G'day everyone, Stamp with Sonia B, Sonia Bernard, your independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to bring you this fun fold, and it has a fun flap here that you pull and then it pops up on the inside. And this section here is actually big enough to put a gift card in there, or just roll up some cash, like fold up some cash and put it in there if you want. You can make this for any occasion, and you can decorate it any way you like. You can put designer series paper on the inside, like a layer, and then another layer of white. You can stamp everywhere. You can do what you want. You can decorate this section here if you wanted to. I chose not to. And then that just folds back up in there. And you can also write on the back here if you wanted to as well. So I know you can't see the whole Easter greetings, and at first I was going to change this because I was like, oh, you can't see it. But my hope was that people would grab this and pull, and because it is interactive, you may have to tell the recipient that, hey, it's an interactive card, pull down, okay? But or there is a stamp that you could also says pull here or pull or something like that. But I just thought it was fun like this. So I'm going to give you all the measurements and show you how to do the card. Okay, so let's get started. And I've got all the measurements here. Can we read this? I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So I'll zoom in there. So if you want to take a screenshot, you can. It's 7.5 by 4 3/4. And then we're going to score it at 3/8 and then at 4 3/8 on the short side. And then on the long side, we're going to go ahead and score that at 3 1/8. I should have put my glasses on before I started this, but oh well, we're just going to roll with it now. So there we have a score line here. Okay, so this is our base. I'm going to take that off. And of course, you're going to burnish all your creases. Let me just zoom out a little bit there. And we will burnish. It's only a little 3/8 of an inch lip there. And then on the other side. And I have used thick basic white. Now, I don't know if you know or not, but thick basic white is going away. And in the 8.5 by 11, it will be available in the 12 by 12. We're still trying to make sense of that, but that's what it is right now. That's what we've been told. So if you do like the thick basic white, then it's in the 8.5 by 11. Now is your time to grab it. Next, we are going to get our snips, and we're going to cut the long edge. Let me double check that, because I was looking at, I did a class on this and someone actually did it the wrong way. One second. Oh, we'll just hope this is right. Give me 1 second. Okay, yes. The long edge here, we're going to cut that off right here. And this is actually, the long edge is actually the bottom, and this short edge is the top. So I always, when I'm cutting, I cut just to the left of the bump, like that. And so we will just, now don't worry if it's not exactly perfectly straight, it'll be okay. They're going to have so much fun playing with this card that if it's a little crooked on the sides, they're not going to really notice. It'll be fine. Okay. It's been a minute since I did a live video. Well, this is not live, but recorded a video. Kind of took a break from that for a while, but now I am back. And I want to bring you a lot of fun folds and just interesting cards. Things you might not do every day, but it's fun to do it, you know, once or twice and just give it a go. Okay, so we've got those two edges off the long side. And you see here, this is how it's going to go, like that, right? So then we do want to just miter these edges here, these corners. And miter is just a fancy word for trim the corner, okay? But if you're hearing that in other videos and you don't know what that means, that's what that means there, is you're just taking that and trimming it off. And that doesn't have to be perfect at all. Remember, you always want to trim the flaps. Whenever you're mitering, trim the flaps. You don't want to trim the actual piece that you'll be working with. Next, we are going to get our crumb cake. Boop. And that is going to be 6 1/4 by 3 1/8. And then you're going to score it on the long side. So you're going to put it that way and score at 2 3/4. Just give you a second in case you want to take a screenshot. So the small part, that is your top part. The large part is your bottom part. And you're just going to burnish that. And that's the part that we pull down. That's our little popping flap part. Next, we're going to do our decorations. We're going to do our stamping. So we have this piece that's 3 3/8 by 3. It's just basic white. And then this is 3 by 2 5/8. Now, when you have these two pieces, just make sure that you're not stamping this one this way. Make sure you've got them in the right orientation so that your card is going the correct way. So we're going to get our bunny. And this is using the, just found my glasses, funny, Storybook Friends stamp set. It is super cute, and it does have coordinating dies. I don't know where they are. I know I have them. Let me double check if this is the one with coordinating dies, because there's two Storybook Friends, there's two kind of stamp sets in this suite, and I don't want to steer you wrong and say they both have dies. But what you can do is if you put this number in here, what is that, 164668, and you search that, and in the stampinup.com, it will actually now tell you what products it coordinates with. So to let you know if it has dies or not with it. Okay, so that's a great new thing. They just started that, like, I think last week. And I've been wanting it for a long time. And they finally did it. Yay. Okay, because good things take time, right? And good things are worth waiting for. So now we're just going to stamp our bunny in black Memento ink. This was unavailable as of yesterday. I'm waiting for it to come in. But we're going to stamp that. And let me see if I can pull this down. Oh, yeah, there we go. It's kind of hard. I'm doing it different. I used to do videos with my iPad and through Facebook Live, but I've decided just to go with my phone here on a stand and see how this works. So a little different. And then you can take your blends and color that in. I just used crumb cake and old olive on this guy. So I used a light crumb cake and then dark crumb cake, a little light crumb cake on his tail, and a little light old olive. You can color that in any color you want, okay? And with whatever medium that you have. Then we just want to get our 3 3/8 by 3 piece. And we're going to get pecan pie. I know Americans say pecan. I was born and raised in Australia. I live in America, but I still say pecan. So my friend gives me grief about it. But each to their own, right? Tomato, tomato. I say tomato. So we're going to do our Easter greetings. And you could make this, like I said, any kind of birthday, Christmas, whatever you want. Just something fun and different. I like fun and different cards. And then we are going to adhere these to the inside. A lot of people like using their the seal. I'm a Tombow girl. I love liquid glue because I'm not very good at lining it up. And then this gives me that little extra, okay, get it in there, right? So I can get it straight, or as straight as I can. Whereas I find when I use seal, it's not very straight. Oh, and look what I did. Look, remember I told you don't do the bunny that way? Look what Sonia did. This I used to say, I make the mistakes so you don't have to. You'll see I don't edit my videos, but I do have backup pieces. So let me grab one of them. So, paying attention, we'll put the bunny this way, and we'll just use that for something else. Okay. So we'll just stamp that this way this time. Yep, that's about right. It's always the way you say, don't do this, and then you do it yourself. It doesn't matter how many years you've been stamping. You know, you're always just doing things, making your card and then finding out it's upside down. Have done that. Back to front, it's opening like from left to right instead of right to left. So there, that's what we wanted. So I would color that in obviously before here, but to save time, since I've already taken up so much. Okay, so next we are going to decorate this piece. And this is the DSP is 2 7/8 by 3 inch. And this is the Storybook Moments DSP. If you haven't checked it out, oh, go have a look. It is so pretty. It's very Beatrix Potter kind of deal on our designer series paper pack. It does have a ton of die cut pop outs, so you can craft super easy using this paper pack. And the only reason I was going to do a die cut on front of this, but I had a whole class and that would have been like too many paper packs for a big class like that. And this piece, I cut it out again of the same paper using the Stylish Shapes stitch die right there. And you can, if you don't have this Stylish Shapes, just, you know, measure it and cut it out. And it doesn't have to be in a square. It could be, you could just fussy cut around and it has, you know, the little bunnies and stuff without this extra piece. So don't ever think you need all the things, especially when you're just starting crafting as a hobby, because, you know, it does take some time to build up a collection. And that's what we do. We collect all our wonderful Stampin' Up! Supplies so that then we have more options to choose from when we are creating. And but it takes a good, you know, minute. So you can always find a substitute. And then I just put some Stampin' Dimensionals there, pop that down. And then I've got a little piece of linen thread that I've already tied in a bow to save time, and mini glue dot. And I always find this way is easy. I just stick my bow on there and then kind of peel it with my fingernails. If you have fake nails or gel nails and they're too thick, then grab a take your pick tool. Now this one is doesn't come like this. It comes gray, but my friend had these done for me. My beautiful, beautiful friend Becca had these made for me. So these are usually black paper snips, and that's normally gray. I just don't want you to think that that's how it looks from Stampin' Up! Although that would be cool. Then we have another little piece of DSP, and that's 3 7/8 by 1 3/8. And we're going to glue this, we're going to open it and just glue this down to the bottom. Now, if you wanted to make this bigger and go up further, you can. I just didn't. Again, I did a class, so sometimes you have to be, you know, more sparing with your paper to make the class still affordable. And I just put it there. It just has a little edge. And you see it, I don't know, like you see that tiny little crooked bit? No one's going to notice. So don't ever get hung up on the small stuff when you're crafting. Now, this is the part we need to pay attention to. This is a 2 by 2 piece of this basic white, and you're going to score it 3/8 on opposite sides. Because it's a square, it doesn't matter if you score this side and this side, or if you score this side and this side, just two score lines. Then we're going to Z-fold it. So we're going to fold in on one side and back on the other. That is called a Z-fold, because when you look, it's like a Z. And you definitely want to burnish that down. Okay, now let's see if I remember how to do this part right. It's been a minute. It's always like you do a class, you make a card, and then you're like, how do I do this again? No. Okay, so you've got this folded part here. I find this is the easiest way. It's folded. That folded edge is facing towards you, or the bottom of the card, okay? This part's facing the top. And we're just going to put a little bit of glue on that folded edge. And this is where you have to be careful that you're not turning it around and upside down. What you want is that folded edge facing you. You want the little tab facing away. And then once you've got the right orientation, you're just going to come down and line it up to the edge of your card and then center it. You do want to make sure that's centered. This is another reason I use the liquid here, but if you wanted to, you could use tear and tape. I would actually not go with tear and tape and Seal Plus. I would go with liquid because I just find the liquid to be so much more durable, especially with something, you know, that has movement with it. So then we've got our folded part and this edge. See this edge here? That's what we're going to line up next. Now, there was some confusion when I was teaching the class, but now you've got me up close and bird's eye view here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So this edge, the bottom edge of the card, you want that to line up with this bottom edge here, where the white meets the crumb cake, and you want it to go there. But then you want to make sure that it's centered. This is very important here. If this is not centered, it's not going to come down nice and, you know, straight. So don't look at your edge when you're lining it up, because if you glued this on crooked, then you're going to glue it crooked, right? So you just want to go, okay, I'm covering up the bottom bit there, but then I'm going to make sure it's straight and centered, right? Again, don't line it up. This is slightly crooked here. I don't know if you can see that or not. And if I lined it up to that white, my card would be crooked and then it's not going to work. So then you open it up and you've got this little flap here, right? And you want it down. And you're going to put a little bit of glue right there. And then you're just going to close it and hold it. And push that up a tiny bit. And then we'll just give it I give it about 30 seconds because I really want that to adhere before I start moving it all around. I don't want this base moving anywhere while we're doing that. So we just hold it for a second, grab a cup of tea, have a little sip. Oh, I love tea. Okay, and coffee. So we just let that sit for a minute. And then the last step, now we've got that. I still am very gentle with it at this point just because it's still drying. But you should do like a little kind of test and it should pull down like this and it'll pop up. And it'll pop more once we've got this part closed, okay? But you just want to do a little test and go, okay, this is pulling down, popping up. Perfect, right? Then we've just got these flaps left. And again, I am using the liquid. And here you want to be careful that we're not going crazy with the glue. I'm going to zoom in a bit there because that edge is very close to this edge here, right? So when I'm putting my glue down for this, I'm going more towards the edge here, just there. You don't need a lot of this Tombow multi-purpose glue. You only need a little bit, right? And then you can literally just fold that up like this, like a little sandwich. And then what I do is press it down, zoom back out a little, and I'll take my bone folder and I'll kind of press down along that edge to make sure that that glue is getting nice and adhered to both sides of that paper. And it's also lining it up at this point. You just want to make sure that that's nice and lined up. And again, I leave it for about 30 seconds, a minute. And then you can decorate with some bling. I didn't grab my bling, believe it or not. So, but I can show you here that I just put some little pearls. They're the antique pearls. They kind of just reminded me of, you know, that era. It's kind of like an antique vintage kind of feel. So again, you can put a whole piece here, like from this side down. You could cover the whole thing with designer series paper and then have that bit up there. You could put a white piece here and have more stamped images. I mean, sky's the limit, you know. Your imagination will take you as far as it can. Like, there is no limits, right, to how creative you can get with that section of the card. Okay, And there we have it. Let's give it a go. Let's pull it out a little bit so we can see. And we just grab the flap and pop. Do you love it? I hope you do. I'm going to have all the measurements in the description below so that you can just go ahead and make this, and then you can use this video. Just hopefully you don't stamp it the wrong way like I did. But okay, I would love it if you go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I will be making a lot more videos now, and I've reformatted my way of doing things. So also you can sign up for my email. You will get things like this sent to you with all the instructions and the video in it. Like my email list is going to get this already sent to them. If you're signing up obviously with my email after this date, obviously you won't get this one sent to you. But if you ever want the PDF or whatever for something like this, the measurements and stuff, I might start putting it on this blog I have. I have a blog that I don't use too often. That is linkedbyink.com. And I can put it up there as well. So maybe I'll try to be better so I can service everybody that way and provide, because some people like blogs, some people like emails, some people just like videos. So I'll try to put it everywhere. Oh, I should put it on Pinterest too. Okay, I hope you like it. Let me know what you think in the comments, and give it a go. And then you can find me on Facebook, Stamp with Sonia B. And if you do make this, go ahead and post this on every week. I have a Share Your Creativity, and you can share a card that you've made yourself, and you can pop it on there. And then I do a drawing, and the winners win a pack of embellishments. And I usually do the drawing every like 4 to 6 weeks. And the reason for that is sometimes one person wins twice. So it's easier for me to do it. And life gets busy too. So don't think it's not coming. Okay. Thanks, guys. Bye.